Thank God it's Friday on Yourview. Welcome to the show. I am Murayo Afolabi, and as always, I have the ladies with me. Hello, Mariam Longe, published author. How you doing? How's our book doing?
Book is doing well. We're still getting people buying, and so thank you.
Please remind us the name and
it's called Vultures to the Rescue. The Cleanup Crew is a children's book teaching everyone, children and adults as well, about the important roles that vultures play in maintaining the balance of the ecosystem. It's a fantastic book. I've only heard rave reviews about the book, so I'm truly proud of it, and I'm happy that I'm making my own impact in the environmental space.
Exactly. Yeah. So how was your original Banter? Anything happening this weekend?
No, thank you for that.
How you doing, Toby? What's up? How you doing? What's up? Plans for the weekend?
Thank you. Yes. So now I can understand why you were invited for World Vulture Day, because when she said it that day, I was like, vulture.
Okay. Just to see that everybody still knows. What are reminding people? People don't know for the first time. So once in a while, just throw it in.
Okay, I will.
She's the vulture mommy.
Yes.
Yeah. How you doing? Any plans for the weekend?
I'm fine. No, well, I plan to stay with my children and my husband for the weekend. But something happened that I really want to speak about. My friend, so we hosted an event together. She hosted the virtual events, I hosted the live event. And after that conversation with her, we began interacting. And next thing I hear that she entered a cab in Abuja and she was stabbed.
Is that your friend?
Yes. And next thing, the hospital they took her to refused to attend to her.
Me. You know her.
I know her personally.
Oh, sugar.
The first day I had an interaction with her, we spoke for over 30 minutes. That's the kind of person she is. And when she passed on, we now found out that big organizations also, she had volunteered for all those organizations, Wimbies, Gemstone, Feladoroto's Gemstone. So she was somebody that was valuable to the country. And for her to just have gone like that, it was so sad. So sad.
Lord.
Yes, it's close to home, because when we hear these things, we probably think that is somebody. Yes, so I knew.
I'm so sorry for your loss. I heard that story. It was quite pathetic that she went to hospitals, they couldn't return to her.
Yes.
But it would be nice to hear from the hospitals, know exactly what happened. And we discussed it recently. I said we have to do a topic on this hospital issue. People going there and people saying they cannot heal them, they can't treat them for.
Take them
I don't get
emergency.
That. I thought
police report.
but I thought it was expunged. I thought the police had told us.
Come on this show many times.
I've told us that's not the reality. So we really need to work on this. I'm so sorry about
But we're grateful that the Senate has taken it up and working on it actively. Yes.
How are you doing, okay?
I'm good.
All looking blue.
Oh, it's a blue Friday.
Yeah. So anything happening?
Yesterday was beautiful. World Teachers Day.
Yeah.
It was so good. We're so happy to celebrate those that keep working hard to see that our younger ones are proud to call Nigeria their own. I celebrate teachers all around the world, but particularly here in Nigeria. Yesterday was beautiful because in one of the schools I manage, the PT executives decided to give the teachers a wow treat, and it was a big wow for them because it was lunch, but it was the packaging was nice. It seemed like you're doing something for some VIP. They paid so much detail to it. Another school, the proprietor took his teachers out for the first time.
Nice.
He took them to a late night, and those who were with small children, I was asking them, where are your children?
That's nice.
That's lovely.
That's so really nice. I didn't remember until Mara mentioned it yesterday. I'm like, oh, really? Teachers do work? But then I had just greet all
So let's send messages to our teachers, our children's teachers.
Yes,
okay.
Yeah.
Happy World Teachers Day was yesterday, and we appreciate the work you do, the sacrifices you make every day. Thank you. Yeah, we do appreciate you. It's Friday. Let's go on a quick break. When we come back, we go through the front pages of the papers. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
we're going to start with the nation. APC Atiku Baker over Tinubu's Chicago State certificate. Forex crisis. Federal government opens talks with World Bank. 8 killed in Osun communal clash. 200 million mobile lines active, says NCC. Supreme Court to rule on Kanu on December 15th. Analysis here. Atiku's frantic hunt for after discovered evidence. Senate summons service chiefs for rising insecurity. School curricula now to embrace infotech. And 2 billionaire palliative cash for Osun still unspent, says governor. All right, let me start with the major headlines. So the bickering between the APC and the PDP has continued as Atiku Abubakar, that's the former vice president and a candidate of the PDP at the last elections, held a news conference yesterday following the document he had obtained from the Chicago State University, and said that he would actually file fresh evidences at the Supreme Court, which he's headed to. If you recall, the PDP candidate had filed 52 grounds of appeal at the Supreme Court after his case was unanimously thrown out by the Presidential Petition Court Tribunal. Now, so he's going to be filing additional, saying that according to him, Atiku is going to be filing 2 counts. At first, the president had submitted a forged certificate to INEC, and secondly, that the qualifying certificate from Southwest College to Chicago State University bears a female name, indicating that that document does not belong to the president. However, the APC has said that the president, that the former VP is only chasing shadows. So that PDP has thrown away every decency, decorum, dignity, and national respectability out of the windows on his purposeless judicial voyage of discovery to the United States in search of a magic wand for taking power against the will of the Nigerian electorate, loudly expressed in the last elections. He said that the berated Atiku's desperation, noted that the former vice president's action was unbecoming of a statesman who once occupied the second highest office in the land. So we'll see how that goes with the Supreme Court.
Yeah, I have the Senate yesterday invited service chiefs to brief them on the steps that they are taking to mitigate the rising insecurity across the land. Yesterday I had sort of made an appeal, so it looks like we're all of the same mind here. So the chiefs of defense, army, air, naval staff were all at the meeting at the Senate, and they were asked, so the military and other security agencies were asked to conduct special operations to dislodge the bandits terrorizing the Northwest Zone and also other parts of the country. They were also urged to be more proactive and ensure that those who have been kidnapped already, are released or are found. They mentioned that specifically, especially as these are the most recent, we have the kidnap that happened at the Federal University in Gusau, Zamfara State, Katsina. Then we have also the NYSC, the core members that were on their way for service, who were kidnapped in Zamfara as well. So these are some of the things that were laid down for them. The lawmakers also, talking to the federal government, says that it has to address manpower needs of the police to enable them tackle the security situations. Right. They also called on the federal government to address unemployment and poverty, as they believe that these are two of the biggest reasons why we have these recurring issues. Okay. Then we that since the kidnappings that have been happening, we had set up like a school protection squad, and they're also enjoining them to do better, and do in protecting students in schools.
Okay. Another story, Nation.
Okay, I have one. 8 Fued killed in Osun communal clash. There was a clash between Ilobu community in Irepodun local government area and Ifon, headquarters of Orulu local government areas of Osun State, and it was quite dangerous because 8 people have been confirmed dead. The DPO was also shot, but the state police commissioner Yemisi Opalola has reported this, and also trying to see how the jargon of Ilobu.
Number of active users of mobile lines in Nigeria are 220,716,000. he made this known at the 18th Abuja International Trade Fair organized by the Abuja Chamber of Commerce and Industry yesterday. And so he went on to say that the telecoms are doing a great job in providing employment opportunities for citizens of the country, but he encourages that they're not overburdened by taxes and levies. So this was said by the Executive Vice Chairman of the Nigerian Communications Commission, Professor Umar Dambata. So he said this at the trade fair. And so at international trade fairs, organizations will have days where they have like symposiums or workshops. So this was said in one of those days. So it's hopeful that this would also benefit Nigeria in the long run. And he also mentioned that the number of active internet subscribers in Nigeria is about 159 million. So those are the number of people that use the internet in Nigeria. It's good news. So it's good news, but it's our prayer that there's a ripple effect on the economy such that it is globally recognized, not just here in Nigeria.
I don't think it's even good to be able to identify people. So now we have a way to access almost every citizen, which is a great thing. The Punch. Chicago record, Tinubu betrayed me. I'll fight till Supreme Court's verdict, says article. Picture here, NUT demands more reforms, teachers to undergo internship. Lagos Abeokuta Highway remains a death trap, motorists lament. Tinubu approves 25,000 naira monthly grants for vulnerable pensioners. Disregard requests for my impeachment. Ayedatiwa writes CJ. Manufacturers experiencing toughest period in history, says man. Depots deserted as petrol landing cost hits 770 naira per litre. And Works Ministry seeks 217 billion naira to repair 260 roads. Okay, which story are we starting with?
I will start with the National Union of Teachers.
Okay.
As Ronke had earlier told us, yesterday was Teachers' Day. So in commemoration of the day, we have NUT demanding implementation of more reforms in the teaching profession. The national president of NUT, Titus Amba, says that the country required a total of 175,000 qualified teachers needed to fill the capacity gaps in schools across the country. They also talked about the welfare packages, and that 3 years after the reforms that were made by the last administration, those have still not been implemented. Yes. It's also sad to find that there are teachers, retired teachers, who their pensions are a lot less than our teachers. We see you, we hear all the issues that that you have to deal with, and I hope that this administration really does better for teachers.
All right, let me just quickly throw in one more story before we go on a break. The chairman of the Manufacturers Association of Nigeria, Odiri Area Magazine, said that the manufacturing sector is currently experiencing the toughest period in the history of its existence. They were speaking yesterday at the annual general meeting, and there was a theme where they specifically said that since the pandemic, exporters have struggled with reduced international demand, coupled with domestic economic challenges such as high exchange rates, high cost of energy, multiple levies and taxes, port congestion, unending insecurity, infrastructure challenges, and so many others. She was also saying that that these are really, really tough times, and they're hoping that the federal government can reconsider the 34 deserving exporters that were stepped down by the 9th Assembly from participating in the promissory notes program. So, I mean, they really, really need help according to them. These are really tough for them, and we all agree that we need to export more, manufacture to export, and hopefully the relationship that they have with the that's the Africa Continental Free Trade Agreement would also enhance exportation to other African countries. But according to them, they're having serious issues with exportation because of the current economic challenges, and hoping that federal government can do something to really mitigate this trend. Let's go on a quick break. When we come back, we continue with our review. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
This is 7 of 7. My name is OJ, and signing a sobriety into my hands tonight on this social experiment called the 7 of 7 is Owen G. What is the name, or what was the name? You see, I want to make them better now.
Rock Heart.
No, of the goat when they brought it on stage.
The name of that goat.
Yeah.
We should go there.
No, that one easy now.
I'm just drinking this so that I can ask him my own questions. It's not because of
Buga.
he didn't get it. You know, you people, you know. Okay. Mention 10 female stand-up comedians in Nigeria. See, just mention their stage name. If you annoy me, you will mention their real names and the year they started. And if you annoy me further, you mention the names of their husbands and the names of their children. Try me now. Okay, mention their name.
No, let's just.
No, wait. No, don't. No. Name, real name, stage name, husband name, children name. 10 of them.
Even the 10. That's a lot.
Eh?
That's a lot.
Did I cut your question for you?
Yes.
When you were happy now. With your hunchback.
That was it.
You are wasting time. We don't have time. See, my brother, before we go on a commercial break, you are stubborn. And I told you since. The fact that you play this your hair does not mean. You understand? See this bar hair you are looking at. It's experience. I've suffered before you.
But I try now.
When you there during the military era of Abacha and Babangida, you know what happened?
I be Gen Z.
So that Gen Z, I will remove 4 out of 10.
That's like
4 out of 10 they pass exam. Don't drink this thing. Where baby you are on here? Drink out. If I land you.
Ladies and gentlemen, make welcome the grand comedian of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Benga.
Thanks for staying with us. We're still reviewing Punch. Toby, have a story? Punch?
Yes, please.
Right.
Tinubu approves 25,000 naira monthly grant for vulnerable pensioners. So President Bola Tinubu has approved the payment of 25,000 naira monthly grants to vulnerable pensioners captured in the expanded National Social Register of the Conditional Cash Transference Scheme. So this was made known by the Minister of Humanitarian Affairs and Poverty Alleviation, Betta Edu, and she said this on Thursday, stating that the Labour Congress, the Nigerian Labour Congress, should work hand in hand with the government to ensure that there's a register of, like a database of the vulnerable pensioners that would benefit from this. So this would come from the NLC generating the register.
Exactly.
And not...
I like that.
Yes.
So and now that's the collaboration that
yes.
And
give
so,
us the list.
Yeah.
And we'll pay them.
And we'll pay them, exactly, which is like a good thing. As against what we've always had in the past, that is the government that is bringing. And so this
I think that's a good
is really, really exciting. This was made known in the President's speech on Independence Day when he committed 25,000 naira for 15 million households for 3 months. And so this will be commenced next month.
Would like to hear what NLC thinks about that.
All right.
I have a story. Lagos Abeokuta Expressway remains a death trap. Motorists lament. Motorists and commuters have lamented that the Lagos Abeokuta Expressway has remained a death trap due to its bad state. I wish we could see a picture. It's really bad. A correspondent who visited the road on Thursday reported that the worst hit are some spots around Abulegba U-turn. Is that not on Lagos? Abulegba U-turn, Ijayi, Alakuko. So he explained that the road is bad and damages vehicles. When a vehicle gets damaged, you know, it just you take it off the road and increases. It adds to the complaints that we get from so many Nigerians. So we're asking that we do something about it. I mean, cars are practically sinking into that road, and it's supposed to be a federal road.
Yeah. Daily Sun, CSU certificate saga, no retreat, no surrender on Tinubu says article. Terrorism, Supreme Court decides Kano FG's fate December 15th. World Teachers Day, Tinubu promises better days as a Giti teacher emerges best in Nigeria. CBN mom as World Bank dubs Naira's Africa's worst performing currency. NJI EFCC seek legislation on unexplained wealth. Senate summons security chiefs over abduction of varsity students. Trade, Germany contributed 3 billion euros to Nigeria's economy in 2022, says Envoy. And economic hardship to Watson as Abuja filling stations shut down over liquidity crisis and others. Okay, Edison and Daily project?
Yes, I do. EFCC and National Judicial Institute and then other stakeholders in the anti-graft war have called for what they call a robust, globally acceptable legislation to tackle the issue of unexplained wealth in Nigeria. So this was, highlighted during the 7th session of the workshop. They're saying that in Nigeria, you have issues where people have unexplained wealth, especially, they live such luxurious, flamboyant lives, and, when compared to what they would, what they earn or what they put forward as their earnings monthly or annually, it just does not correspond. He says that they're saying that in many other countries, like in the United States, in Kenya, the United Kingdom, Hong Kong, there's legislation that focuses on, sort of dealing with unexplained wealth. But we don't have anything like that in Nigeria, and this is something that we really need to, look into and get. The thing is, especially in Nigeria, where we're talking about drug
Substance abuse
trade, the drug trade, we do have a lot of people who we would say, oh, they have so much money. Where are they? How are they earning their money? It is important that we're able to have legislation that keeps people in line or in check. If you're unable to, if you're unable to explain your wealth, and that would cause that there's a legislation against it, you'll be careful how you earn your money. And I think it's a good, step in the right direction.
Okay, another story in Daily Sun?
Yes, I have a story. President Ahmed Bola Tinubu, represented by his Vice President Kazim Shettima, made a promise yesterday at the World Teachers' Day event. He noted that Nigeria's future can only be safeguarded by investing in education, empowering teachers, and providing every child with a tool to reach their dreams. So he was pleased to tell us that there's a new policy coming up, and the policy has to do with the retirement age of teachers. In order to design and retain an wealth of experience within the educational system, and also to further discourage this jackpot syndrome, because we hear that they're looking for teachers everywhere. But the beautiful part of this report is a public primary school teacher in Ekiti who emerged as the best teacher in Nigeria. I wonder what the parameters are, but we celebrate her. She was given a car, and other people from private schools all the way. I think Rivers State even took it up to not just the federal level, also within the state, and so many teachers had brand new cars yesterday. Thank you, Nigeria.
Lagos started something.
Lagos started, I remember the first year, a few years ago, there were 12 teachers, and I think it increased to 13 teachers.
Yes.
So I'm not sure this year, but I know that every year the government was giving them cars and public school teachers, and they're doing amazingly.
My mom was also in that space, but she didn't get a car.
She have to work harder next time.
Let me take World Bank. So experts have reacted to World Bank's latest Africa's Pulse report that placed Naira and the Angolan Kwanza as the worst performing currencies in Africa. The Global Bank in the report noted that Nigerian Naira experienced nearly 40% depreciation in this year, 2023, noting that the tumbling was unprecedented and bad for Africa's biggest economy. Other currencies in the sub-Saharan Africa with flunking currencies include the Sudanese pound, Burundian francs, Congolese francs, and so many others. Well, according to this report, CBN is still mum. They've not said anything about this so far, but experts said the development must be treated as a wake-up call to take decisive actions to arrest the free fall of the Naira. Also, the Director General of the Center for Promotion of Private Enterprise, CPP, that Dr. Muda Yusuf, said that it was high time the federal government brushed aside sentiment and politics to tackle issues concerning balance of payments and foreign exchange scarcity that we're having it right now. CBN must find a way to defend the Naira. And how do you do that? Encouraging more of exports so we can get, because everybody now is looking for dollar. Everybody's changing their Naira to dollar because of the weakening of the Naira.
So I have a story.
Still in some?
Yes,
okay.
Senate summons security chiefs over abduction of varsity students. And so yesterday at the Senate, there was a call for the security chiefs over the rising abduction of university students in many parts of the country. And so we've had a report from the Federal University in Dutsima in Katsina State stating that 5 female students were abducted. We'd also had 8 corps members that were abducted on the way to camp in Zamfara State. Then we also had 12 other students abducted from 3 hostels in the Federal University in Gusau in Zamfara State. And so the Senate, this motion was moved by a member of the Senate, Abdulaziz Musa Yaradua, stating that the Senate should focus on the abduction of these students because it is now becoming a cause of worry for other universities within the northern states. And so the service chiefs, the security chiefs are being called upon to resolve this, and then there's also going to be a date where they are going to call all these security personnel within the country to really focus on those areas to bring a lasting solution to this, especially for our students, our undergraduates, and our core members.
Great. Moving on quickly now to the Nigerian Tribune. Let's find a story we've not taken at all. Ensure local government areas get allocations directly, not through governors, says Afe Babalola to Tinubu. Sex scandal, why we arrested suspended Unicor professor, says DSS. Supreme Court slates December 15th to determine Nnamdi Kanu's fate, and impeachment disregard request from Ondo Assembly. Adegboro writes Ondo CJ.
Yes, so the DSS has arrested the suspended Dean of Faculty of Law, University of Calabar. I don't know if we remember that story, you know, where the allegations of sexual misconduct, and they said the reason why they are involved in this case is because the ICPC actually reached out to them, and so in the spirit of interagency cooperation, it's supporting this operation. So he has refused to respond to any of the calls that's been made to him concerning this issue, and so the DSS had to step in. So we'll see what happens to this professor now that he's been arrested by DSS. Law, right? Yes, his name is the Professor Cyril Indifon.
All right, so let me talk about local government allocations. So the founder of Afe Babalola University, Ado-Ekiti, Abuadaz Are Afe Babalola SAN, yesterday tasked President Tinubu to ensure that local government areas in the country receive their allocations directly from the federal government. We've been discussing this for years, and the debate has been ongoing. And according to him, he says that many governors have hijacked these local government funds because the funds go straight to the state government before they then send it to local government. He said they should be getting it directly from the federal government. He spoke while declaring open the 8th edition of the Afe Babalola Agricultural Expo, an annual gathering of farmers where they are empowered by Abuad. He explained that releasing funds to the council areas would enable the administrators to contribute to the socio-economic development of the communities, especially supporting farmers. I'm suggesting that local government areas should be empowered. Each local government should set up farming equipment to farmers to hire. They should also earmark large hectares of land for farmers to farm. Aside from even farming, we need local government to be really empowered to really bring government to the people. Potholes in the neighborhoods, schools repair, security centers, those little things.
Grassroots issues.
Yes, they really need to be empowered. So some states hijack their funds. Other states take the salaries from the money and then give them the rest. So it depends. We really need to be clear where the local government starts, where the state government starts and where it ends. When you take a story, I think I've run out of time.
No, I just wanted to buttress what you mentioned. In the rural areas, food is actually also very cheap. And so I was traveling on this Ife-Ibadan expressway and I stopped to buy yam. And it was so cheap. And I was like, why is it? So it was like 400 naira per tuber.
Yes.
And so I said, how come when it gets to Lagos? The lady was now saying, transportation.
I wanted to ask
transportation. That, you know, so it is a collaborative effort beyond just that.
It's transportation and also the fact that it's Lagos. Lagos should pay.
Lagos
should pay more.
They have to run. But you're right. I mean, transportation is key.
Yeah.
And that's why each local government should find that thing that they're strong in. We can actually grow farms. If we that what Afe Babalola say that. Every local government has the power to actually have a farm and empower their farmers for their community. So there's so many things we can do, but it's not our hot topic for today. Let's go on a break. It's Friday, our celebrity. Friday. Let's find out what's going on in celebrity. kingdom. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
So, have you ever wondered what happens behind the curtains of a man's mind? Or perhaps you're one of those who wonder what men talk about when they gather. Well, here goes. Imagine what it takes to put together the perfect cocktail. Or maybe mocktail. We need a bit of sports, a sprinkling of current affairs, some very deep topical issues, and last but not the least, a healthy dose of grumbling of those we love to hate. And yes, you guessed it, women. So, if you catch the drift, then you're onto something. We will provide you with the right insights into most of your curiosities, right here within this beautiful cocktail we call the Black Table.
Ikechukwu, son, aka Cross. Now your intro without
Wow.
So there's a name that thing that's.
I'm just drinking because you say I should drink. There's no particular answer.
You think it's only that can be wicked?
What's the answer?
Sort of huge.
Eh?
Yeah. They claim you did, but you said it just happened. That
And it's called what again?
Sort of huge.
Such a feud.
SUBTERFUGE.
So you look me finish from head to toe. You look at a person who go know what to become such. Yeah?
The nude wasn't like a game plan. Or...
I promise you, it was actually a mistake. Like it was sending it to someone, and it just mistakenly just.
bad guy.
Doubt and fear doesn't occur at the canvas, it shows in the canvas. It shows the conation of raw earthen material slabbed, stroked and molded at a pace provided by the doubt and fear. Every move way in the struggle of one to the other, merging the past to the present, brushstrokes of colors seen but not known. For when the wailing stops, the pieces settle down in abject beauty erected for a century of a century. Speaking, advocating, protesting as the arts are meant to be.
Ladies and gentlemen, make welcome the one who can make time stand still forever, Mr. Kelechi Amadi. How are you doing, sir?
I'm good, my brother.
You love that intro, Abi?
Yeah. It was great.
Okay,
Thank you.
We try like that.
Thank you.
Now my question, which I feel is a cheap question.
Oh, go ahead.
What does ISO stand for?
That is it. I think I will drink.
No, you're joking.
I'm not joking.
Kelechi Amadi. No. Shay, you didn't whine me. You're whining me now.
I think I will drink.
Huh?
No problem.
Okay.
I've always known it as ISO. I never bothered to know what it means. I know what it means, but I never bothered to know what the acronym is. Tell me the brand of camera that I use, so much so that I even became an ambassador. That's very easy. It's out there.
It's supposed to be,
yeah. I just said, let me give you this one as a token of my appreciation.
Sony.
Drink!
Wait, I'm not done. I'm not done. You did not say final answer.
It's final answer.
You did not ask me if that was my final answer.
You don't have any choice again. It's only
Nikon.
how many cameras do they have?
Thanks for staying with us. The story about Bimileke,
Greatness, Olorun Femi.
the young lady in Abuja. I'll come to YouTube in a second to give us the full story. The young lady who was stabbed in a moving vehicle in Abuja, thrown out of the vehicle and rushed to Maitama Hospital. report, according to Punch, was that she was taken to the hospital and they refused to take care of her. Since that story broke, the National Assembly has instituted a committee to investigate, someone, the IGP actually, to come and give a report on what happened. They're also finding out from the Minister FCT to see what's going to be, what he's doing to tackle the issue of insecurity even within Abuja. But there's so many angles to this story. The issue of insecurity, the fact that somebody could stab somebody in a moving vehicle. How is that? Who is monitoring? Who's ensuring? Who's looking for the killers? The killer. The second part is the fact that she was not accepted in the hospital, allegedly not accepted in the hospital. We thought it was the right thing, the human thing from hospitals to at least treat an injured person first before finding other documentation to follow. But today's conversation really is to readdress this issue, which we just talked about so many times on this show. But this is an opportunity to bring this matter to the fore. And we'd like our viewers to call us. Those of you who have experienced something like this, please call in to share your stories so that government can hear and know what to do going forward and how to tackle this issue. Because obviously, somebody is not getting the memo from the hospitals as regards what the laws are or what's acceptable in matters like this. You can call us on numbers on your screen, 081 076 41679 0902 4163440. You can also tweet to us at TVC Connect. Please hashtag Yourviewtvc so we can read your tweets. So let me let you share the story again for those who didn't hear you doing the paper review. Her name and what you read about.
Okay, so her name is Greatness Olorunfemi.
Greatness, yeah.
And so she had gone out on this particular day. She had entered One Chance, these vehicles where kidnappers are usually in. Maybe sometimes with the aim of stealing from their victims. And so she had gone in. Nobody knows what happened inside the vehicle, but she was stabbed and thrown out of the vehicle. And so people found her, took her to the hospital. She was taken to Maitama General Hospital, and she wasn't attended to. They were requesting for a police report till she actually passed on. So there were videos also stating that showed where she was actually in the car, and they were requesting for people to attend to her, but they didn't attend to her till she passed on. And so a few hours later, it was confirmed that she was dead. And so she was also a member of CIPM, very active member. They put out a report. So it was CIPM's report that actually gave a proper breakdown. That's the Chartered Institute of Personnel Management. She was an exco in the Abuja chapter that gave a proper report of what happened actually. And so Gemstone, also the leadership arm of Feladroto's foundation or something, or like a network, also put out a story. Shirley's Serenity Place, she volunteered there. So
the Federal Capital Territory Authority, FCTA, put out a report saying that the victim of One Chance Greatness robbery was allegedly dead when she was brought into the Maitama Hospital. So they're claiming that she was brought in dead on that day. According to this report, on September 26, Greatness was said to have been pushed down from a moving vehicle, believed to be a One Chance vehicle along the Maitama Kubwa Expressway. She was reported to have been severely injured and was rushed to the hospital for medical treatment. However, she was allegedly rejected by officers on duty at the healthcare. However, the FCTA, a statement by Buhari Yakasai, Assistant Director of the FCTA, Health Services and Environment Secretariat, said that the administration received information that the victim was brought into the hospital there. So there are conflicting reports, but this is one opportunity to address situations where the victims weren't brought in dead. Hospital rejected the victims, but again, investigation is ongoing to know exactly what happened. Hopefully, we'll get to the truth of this. But let me come to you, ladies. What are your thoughts when you hear this?
Okay, so first of all, there was a video on social media,
yes,
and layman from watching across the screen, that person in that vehicle didn't look dead to me at that time. She seemed like she still had life within her, and so I hope the investigation will be taken further to determine that what we saw in that video and what is being said right now, that she got there and she had already been dead by the time she got to the hospital. When you started this, when you mentioned it at first, I said that we've had the police come here many times to talk about the fact that this is not a requirement at all in an emergency. A patient should be responded to immediately. And, you know, we've asked there are different ways to even make sure if you're suspicious of the victim that's been brought in, is there a way to call the police, to have that patient handcuffed to the bed, or have a police standing outside their room, you know, until they come to, you know, and if they are indeed suspects of a crime, at least the police is right there. But let the life be saved, just because it's better to save even a criminal than to lose an innocent life, you know. But for us to keep seeing this happen over and over again, it says to me that there must be something going on in reality, the implementation of this policy. Have hospitals still found themselves in trouble for attending to victims? You know, because whether we like it or not, this is Nigeria, and what has always been the case is that we know you come on TV and you say one thing, but in reality, what happens? People on ground will say, but this is not how it's happening. So are hospitals still finding themselves getting in trouble with the police if they attend to victims without getting a police report? Because the sort of people that work in a health facility, nurses and doctors, you would expect that what would move them first of all is just that empathy, the zeal to want to just save a life. Right. So I don't even know how a person can watch as life is just leaving a person and think that, you know, if you don't have a police report, I'll let you go. I've heard so many times of nurses and doctors where they have patients who are unable to pay their bills, you know, and they need health intervention. They give it to them. So why is it that you bring someone who is bleeding, who is obviously needs help at that point, and then you close your doors to them? So there has to be something that's happening on the ground. Let hospitals and patients and families of patients tell us exactly what's happening on the ground. For when they bring victims in, who, you know, how do they relate? How do the police relate with the hospital after, if they've given them treatment?
Let me come to you, Rinke, your thoughts when you...
I like to align so much with Miriam, because listening to the story, I'm wondering, why is it that hospitals are always on the defense? It's not too far from the Mubad issue. You know, every day somebody just posts something and you wonder, why are we trying to change the story even after the person is gone? I mean, just like Miriam said, is there a police issue with the hospitals that make them feel like they just have to maintain a stand and say, hey, it's always the person who was brought in dead? I'm wondering why Good Samaritans, as it was described in the article, would pick someone who was already dead and take the person to the hospital and not say the person was dead. So definitely, it seems like there are still counter claims, like the headline reads, so many people coming up with different issues, but maybe they should conduct an autopsy that will throw more light into the particular time of death and also help in the investigation.
Exactly.
But our condolences to the families. And I'm wondering also, how do we regulate all of these taxes? So it's good to know that it's not Uber, Bolt, and the reformed ones. Who is safe? It's no longer boss.
Exactly. So there are other issues. There are other issues. So as much as we are investigating what happened to greatness, we also need to tackle the issue of insecurity, how we're protecting our people who are entering public transportation, how we're ensuring the safety at the bus stops, under some kind of a watch. Or, they now have CCTVs across major highways. You know what's going on. But you think, I hate to share this story. I mean, I've shared it many years ago, and for many people who are probably watching the views for the show for the first time may have not heard it, but I've shared this story many years ago, and because I experienced exactly what happened in this situation before, and that traumatic experience has never left me, and I didn't think that many years down, maybe 10 years, over 10 years now ago, I'm still going to be talking about exactly the same thing. And it's quite painful because, as Mariam has said, we've had several people come on this show to tell us that that's not supposed to be the case in issues of emergency. I remember many years ago, again, back then, I think it was 2005 or 2006, around that time, or 2004, when then Vleki was not as big and as expanded as it is now. Okay. And I was driving with my brother. I was going to my sister or some sister's house or something. I can't remember where we were going to. So we were just passing some people on the floor, crowding a young lady. And we were just wondering, why are they crowding? I know me now, fresh from the US. I had this empathy. Oh my goodness, what's going on? What's going on? I was like, let's drive past. So I said, what's going on? So I had to ask them to park the car. And they were all surrounding a young girl, like 14 years old. She was pregnant. The baby was almost coming out. She had flies all over mosquitoes, everything all around. She was half dead.
Yeah.
And I said, let us get this girl to the hospital. So I got them a bag, they put a bag into the back seat, carried her, put in my car. I said, we're taking this boy. Your younger brother, who's been living in Nigeria for a while, said, this thing, you can't be doing that. I said, we have to take this girl to the hospital. We got to the hospital in Lekki, and immediately we walked in, we tried to get in the nurse, come. They carried her, as they carried her inside, doctor said, this girl again, no, please. We can't, we need a police report, We now had to go back, get the police to follow, to come again. Police said, this lady again, but no, for whatever reason.
There was nobody that could.
There was nobody, for whatever reason, there were some issues, I don't know what happened with the girl, but nobody had the empathy to first save her life and her baby's life first. Whatever issues, we would deal with it later. So what the police had the time rejected, the hospital rejected, guess what I had to do? Very, very night. I took the girl right back to where I found her. What am I going to do?
Yeah.
And as depressing as it is, I don't know if she even passed on or if because somebody saved her, but till tomorrow, when I see these stories, I remember that time. I'm like, what could I have done? Because then we're thinking, if I had taken her to another hospital, someone would say, go to Ikoyi. So if I carry her, she died in my car.
Yes, that would have been.
So because I had a family member to follow, so that there was somebody from my family member.
The thing is that the police was also involved.
So I said, please let me just return her where I don't want story. So that is the Nigerian story that I had at the time. I was hoping that by now, the information is out there that no matter who is injured in an emergency, save first.
Life first.
Well, so it's quite painful and it's very traumatic. I've never taken that picture off my head. I still have the girl's face in my head right now as I'm speaking to you.
I mean, you've shared that story, and I have that story in my head. I've told many people in my family that particular story. I've had second-hand trauma from listening to it. Just imagine leaving someone in that state, and then to have to deal with stories like that 10 years after. As a Nigerian, you're just this is the PTSD that these Nigerians are suffering. We want to hear stories like this and hear how it has become better. And then we can refer to how it used to be so terrible in the past. What is happening that there's a police officer and the hospital in the same room and there was no agreement who would take up saving that girl's life?
So, back to your story. I know it's almost 20 years ago. But no emergency centers?
Then the lake was not as expanded. It was just like lots of sand and lots of, so it was really difficult at the time to even know where it was. The next hospital for me at the time was all the way in Ikoyi, and I was just scared of this girl cannot die in my car, in my custody. Because my younger brother had warned me, well, let us not get into this. You are still fairly new here. Don't go and put us in trouble. But thank God I had a family member in the car and I had the police in the car. So they saw it. So when I got back, the community just said, they were hoping that something happened. I said, I'm so sorry. There's nothing. The hospital rejected her. I can't remember exactly why the hospital rejected her. I think she had been there before, something happened, whatever. We can't even remember. I can't even remember the story anymore. But, so the point is that we really need either the Inspector General of Police, the same way we saw Governor Tawolu go to, Papa recently, commanding those people to move. Maybe we need the Inspector General of Police to himself start going to hospitals in various places across the nation. Guys, you have to treat an emergency. This police report thing, somebody needs to go, because until Nigerians see them, maybe they come out verbally, put a police, not a report, do a press release, something, or not a press release, what do you call that thing? A media briefing where you're constantly talking to us about this, because you can't keep having the same story all the time.
And then repercussions also. Saying that if you do not attend to this, we will shut down your hospital or something. Because there are even people with.
I think that's these people are always apprehensive and want to just reject the person. So I feel we should act differently. Let's have some of the top people in the hospitals tell us where the concern is, so that the police can also work hand in hand and people are safe. And churches should also help. Churches should help.
How?
Churches help. It's religious organizations. How? You're not rushing that person to a church. You're rushing the person to the hospital. That's where you take them. There used to be a time where people would rush them to pharmacies or chemists, and they say, no, that's not a proper hospital. Take them, and then go to hospital and they say you don't have a police report. I agree with you. We need to. We've called many times on this show. We've called the police. We need to start calling the hospitals to come and explain to us why exactly. Tell us, even if it's behind the cameras. Tell us what is happening that makes you forget your humanity in situations like this.
And do you think there might be cost somewhere? I'm thinking there's cost somewhere. You know, when people just get to the hospital and they say drop 200,000, drop 300,000. You say no, they'll say go and bring police report.
No, that's
there might be costs.
That's another point. See, I remember there was a doctor. Remember the doctor? There's a doctor that he was living in this area, Ketu, and he was a good doctor. You know, he has relocated to Canada. Good doctor, always helping. Okay. During the emergency situations, he's always there to treat, but they never pay. When they're pregnant women, they go to him because this doctor, I can't remember his name. This doctor was such a good doctor. He will treat you. He will help you deliver your baby. But many people say, "Well, just beg him, please, oh God, I don't have money." And so sometimes you treat an emergency and you don't get paid for that. Who's going to be responsible for this? At least with the police report, either government or somebody can take responsibility. So maybe also we need to see the side of the hospital owners. Maybe their issue is after I treat, half the time the medication, the injections I use, everything, it costs me money. Who's going to take responsibility? Some of these patients run the hose that somebody sticks them out of the hospital.
That's where health insurance is supposed to come in.
Exactly.
How many of such people have health insurance?
Yes,
but
that's why we need to push
NHIS.
that. NHIS is what we need to also push, so that hospitals, in cases like that, they are covered, at least for the first, in an emergency, that cost is covered. Whatever happens, government is able to pay the hospital back.
Let me hear from Nigerians. We'll go on a break now. We'll come back, we'll open our phone lines to hear from Nigerians. Stay with us, we'll be right back.
This is 7 of 7. My name is OJ, and signing a sobriety into my hands tonight on this social experiment called the 7 of 7 is Owen G. What is the name, or what was the name? You say I won't make them better now.
Rock Heart.
No, of the goats when they brought it on stage.
The name of that goat.
Yeah.
We should go there.
No, that one easy now.
I'm just drinking this so that I can ask him my own questions. It's not because of
Buga.
He didn't get it. You know. Okay. Mention 10 female stand-up comedians in Nigeria. See, just mention their stage name. If you annoy me, you will mention their real names and the year they started. And if you annoy me of their husbands and the names of their children, try me now. Okay, mention their name.
No, let's just.
No, wait. No, don't. No. Name, real name, stage name, husband name, children name. 10 of them.
Even the 10. That's a lot.
Eh?
That's a lot.
Did I cut your question for you?
Yes.
When you were happy now. With your hunchback.
That was it.
You are wasting time. We don't have time. See, my brother, before we go on a commercial break, you are stubborn. And I told you since. The fact that you play this your hair does not mean. You understand? See this bad hair you are looking at. It's experience. I've suffered before you.
But I try now.
Were you there during the military era of Abacha and Babangida? You know what happened?
I be Gen Z.
So that Gen Z, I will remove 4 out of 10.
That's like
4 out of 10 they pass exam. Don't drink this thing. Well, baby, you are on here. Drink out. If I land you.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have Made Kuti in the view. It's still 7 of 7, and we've been doing a whole lot of protesting. The only thing that remains is just to carry placard.
It's about 5 of 7, to be honest, because ask your question. I have so much to speak about once we finish.
We will not give you the time because it's 7 of 7.
I will make the time now. He said he will not ask questions about science.
No.
Neuroplasticity.
And based on
he asked a question that was subjective about high life, and he did not finalize his answer about a Kuti question where there are only 3 of us.
Editor, scratch this part out.
That could have possibly composed the music.
Editor, scratch this part out.
Stupidity is an act of ignorance.
Hey God, Made.
Was composed by which Kuti?
Femi Kuti.
Is that your father?
God, I'm Shion Kuti. No, wait, Femi Kuti.
You said
Femi Kuti. Wait.
It can't be allowed.
No, you've not asked me anything.
Everyone.
You've not asked me anything.
Thanks for staying with us. As we said, we're going to open our phone lines. Good morning, John from Abuja. Thanks for calling. You're live. Hello, John.
Yes, I'm hearing you.
Good morning. Go ahead, please.
Okay. I thank God for this program this morning. I want to report a similar case that happened last week in Abuja, in Kuba at Kuba Village. The woman, where women are placing their hair, one woman was driving. She mistakenly drove and killed and hit two people while they are putting their hair inside the market. You can send your report to the command investigate. So, eventually, two women got serious injured. So, we have to them to respond in the hospital.
I can't hear you properly. So sorry.
I think it's 9 o'clock. It keeps happening around 9 o'clock in the morning. Hello?
Wow. Yeah, it was difficult to hear the details. Something happened. What happened in Abuja?
A similar case happened in Fued village.
Okay.
So, a woman drove a car that ran into a certain woman, and the woman were injured. They got serious injuries. So they now took them to Fued General Hospital at the spot. Okay. So they delayed these people. They couldn't attend to them until.
Okay, it was difficult to hear what he was saying, but I think he was saying that a similar situation happened somewhere in Abuja. Do you have any comments on social media to add to this?
Yes, we do.
Okay, do you want to go ahead?
Please go ahead.
All right, so while we're looking for comments, but I think really it would be nice to, we're going to wrap up on this very soon, but really the truth is that we will wait for the investigation concerning Greatness's situation. Hopefully, we have something more decisive at this time. We don't want to have this conversation again in the next 5 or 10 years of this similar thing happening. But there's an angle that we've not touched on. The social media. We have comments. Okay, go ahead, please.
So, Honorable Adimola Alala says the hospital the lady was taken to should be sanctioned for not attending to the patient on time and asking for police report before treating a patient in an emergency situation. Government should review policies around emergency situations in our hospitals.
Okay, I have Abiodun from Abuja. Good morning, Abiodun from Abuja. Thanks for calling.
Good morning.
Morning, sir.
Yeah. Yes, I want to share my friends of this topic with you guys now. I had an accident last year, October. Yes, I broke my femur bone. And I was brought down before General Hospital in Abuja at Cuba. So the doctor or the nurse, maybe a auxiliary nurse, I don't know, that attended to me refused to like do what he was supposed to do. My bone was broken, my phone was shattered, my car was like almost right off. Almost right off. The phone I had with me was shattered, and they removed my SIM and asked me to transfer money so that they can use it to buy some things they need to use on me. Even they called the policeman came, and the policeman was even trying to say, okay, I don't have any money with me, there are maybe 5,000 I let them just use to get me some drugs. This is a general hospital for crying out loud. You are supposed to have all these things. My bone is broken, and they could not even do anything. They just used one placard to touch my leg until it was around 1 a.m. at midnight. Until my family had to come. The same guy who rescued me on the express, ordinary advocate, I'm sorry to say this, is an outer boy, young boy, drove me down with his car to the general hospital. The boy was even begging them for them to attend to me.
Thank you very much, Biodun. I think Biodun raised an important point. Aside from the emergency part, they don't have the requisite amenities to even treat certain emergencies because he had a broken bone. So, you know, when you go to hospital, they tell you to go and buy certain things. Your family will have to go and collect, they get a list from the nurse, go and buy this to save yourself. So that's also an issue. who is equipping these hospitals? What's government doing to ensure that these hospitals are properly equipped to handle these issues of emergency? Because from what he's saying, that they were willing to treat him, but they say, "Oh, could bring out your ATM or be your phone, so you can transfer money. We need certain things to treat you." That's another angle.
And in a case where he wasn't even in his senses, or maybe he was unconscious, he would have just gone like that.
Yeah.
So it's because he was even alive that they were able to say, "Bring your SIM, let's
go and get money to."
I think it all boils down to empathy. Empathy from everybody, this angle. Empathy from the police, empathy from the hospitals.
I use my money to treat you because I might not have enough. So I might empathize with you that your leg is broken, but I don't have the 50,000 naira to go and buy the gauze or whatever to hold you. I don't have those things.
So okay, so even the patients too need to understand that hospital staff have to be paid. So nobody should just get to hospital and expect that because I'm having a bad day, they have to take care of me and then I'll tell stories. When people go to hospitals, they must understand that the hospital, even when the doctor can treat you and let it go, what about the people he works with? They have to be paid. So it's empathy from every angle. So I also want to clarify, when I said church earlier, I meant church for empathy purpose, because most times when these things happen and you're the scene of the issue, there's always who will bail the cats, who has money to drop. So I feel like instead of having to, I'm not blaming you, Mariah, but sometimes exhausting options to a point where you feel I've tried everything and maybe I'm not the person that can help you, but I passed you on to where you're going to find help. Yeah, so I think religious organizations should also step in. Let's ask questions.
Let me take this call from Dotun. Thanks for calling, Dotun. You're live.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Okay, from my own view, according to the video we saw, the hospital was shown and that girl was still alive. That's one. Then another one is this. You see, government has done their own part by giving rules and regulations. But the problem we are having is the people working. Let me give you an example. There was a day I was arrested in VIO Island. What's it called? Onovu. So my driver's license was collected, and it was stated in their office that if your vehicle is being impounded, you will pay for demurrage. Demurrage will be charged. So after making every necessary payment to pick my driver's license, the lady there said I must pay for demurrage for my driver's license. I said, but it's not part of this. He said I must pay. So I checked. I saw the sector commander's number. I called him and I explained everything to him. So he said I should go and give the person the phone. After I gave her the phone, she was like, sorry sir. When she handed over the phone back to me, she didn't give me my driver's license. She waited for her boss to come, and I don't know what she explained to her boss. When the boss came back, he was like shouting, threatening me that if he decides not to give me my license, what do I do? People there, I have to start begging for me to collect my license. You can see the government has done their own part, but those working there is the problem.
Okay. So, all right. Thank you very much. I have a comment here that I'd like to read. This person says the Red Cross International has consistently assisted the Nigerian police force since 2017 in reaching out to hospitals across the country that police reports are not required to treat victims of crime. Anyone can Google the Red Cross International in Nigeria. The information is there. Thousands of posters and handbills on this information were printed and pasted in the hospitals and distributed across the country. Billboards about this information were also positioned in strategic locations in the country. My opinion, therefore, is that the police must start arresting and prosecuting hospital managers for refusing to treat victims of crime.
Yes.
So this is from somebody who knows, and this is the person of authority.
In fact, what you said earlier, even though we said, oh, may have been too much, is that there has to be a punishment, because if they can get away with it, then what will make them stop? So now we know exactly that it's about money, and they just use that police report to cover up for that. So you come in and they don't think you look like you can pay for your bills, they'll let you go. And the sad thing about an emergency situation is that you can never tell. You are seeing someone who is in their worst state ever. So how do you tell if the person can pay or not? But that's aside, I remember a story. Someone said that when they had traveled from Lagos to Dubai, they got to Dubai and this person collapsed. He had a heart attack. He said he was immediately whisked to the hospital and was taken care of. He said he believed if that happened to him in Nigeria, his own country, he would have died at the airport. So there's also that thing about us where we need to do better. We need to put things in place, health-wise, facilities in place. And this idea, see, I don't want to blame, because you brought up the point where, you know, we need to have empathy for hospitals and the hospital staff. I agree with you. So that's where government needs to make sure that where a hospital has given its services for someone in an emergency and that person absconds for whatever reason, that they can go somewhere where they are compensated for that. Then you will encourage hospitals to always give help when they see it. But truly, you know, this issue of sending people away when they are completely, when they're in an emergency situation does not sit well with me. You know, as we said, there have to be different ways that you can do this. Even if the person is unable to pay, can we get a group of people who can put a few amounts of money together towards this person's bill instead of thinking of sending away a bleeding person? I just still can't get in my head how you send somebody away that's dying.
There's an angle that we've not touched on. The angle is that some of this internal sabotage, where as a hospital staff, I have siphoned the hospital's resources. So, for example, I hear that some nurses or some doctors, maybe they use government equipment for maybe personal use, their personal offices. All the stuff is supposed to use for emergency. Either you sold this, you know, all those internal sabotage. Where when an emergency finally comes in, because we don't have the equipment, I'd rather pronounce them dead on arrival, because it's the easiest thing to get away. I don't want wahala with the CMD. And because you ask, where are the various things you're supposed to do to attend this person? Oh, it has finished. We don't have any more. But sometimes, these are just speculations. We don't know. But some people are saying that there could be internal sabotage where what government has provided has been stolen or been siphoned or taken away, such that they can't even treat an emergency. So they'd rather just say, dead on arrival. That's the easiest thing to get away with it.
We have said many times that we do not think that hospitals and hospital workers face the consequences of some of the malpractices that happen there. You know, not only sending off people who have come in emergency situations, people who are in the hospital, and then there's a mistake in treatment because of your, maybe, you know, not really paying attention, inefficiency. Things happen like that. People die in hospitals, and there's really no accountability. They seem to be able to get away with it. So there has to be a body, an independent body that is not so much part of the medical system that it feels, oh, these are my people, I need to protect them. That is able to punish those malpractices that happen within the health sector.
But there is a body.
No, there is a medical body that can call you and you know, and discipline you. But sometimes you find sometimes you find that because we know you, this is a professor that has been with us for many years, he's such a good man, this may have been a mistake, and then you let that person go.
I agree.
I can only imagine the number of people that would have died this way without being in the newspapers. So greatness was somebody that, because people knew her, they were able to amplify this story. This is similar to a case of one of my friends also, Moradon Balogun, about 3 or 4 years ago.
I remember the hospital.
I mean,
happened in Bagada. I remember
in
that.
Bagada.
Yes, we took that story.
Same scenario. She was stabbed, taken to the hospital, police report, and by the time they took her to General Hospital, she died.
In fact, it was that story that made us bring in, I think it was the Badmus, the DSP, Dolakwa Badmus. Then she came here and she was very, very emphatic that it is not longer required. Remember that story very, very clearly.
So beyond it is no longer required, we hear that over and over again. What can be done? Because we think that these things are far away. I mean, they are not as far as we think that they are. We know that somehow, if we as a nation do not stand up to really take this on as we are all Nigerians, it can eat anybody. Yoruba say ole by anybody. So we should please take it on.
Yes, comment says we need to stop making excuses. I think Nigerians should be made aware that they can seek legal aid to sue these hospitals. That's another thing.
Yes.
So, well, we have to wrap up on this, but as I say, on this is really sad we're having this conversation, but we'll wait for the police report, we'll wait for the investigation from the Inspector General of Police and also the FCT Minister, especially the issue of safety. A full investigation will give us a 360 on all the various angles, what happened with the hospital, issue of security, even the person that gave the news, the reporter, I think was somebody who took her to the hospital was the one that said that it was because of police report. That's also an angle of the social media sensation. Like, oh, it's because of a report. We don't know exactly what they asked for. So the different parts of this, we don't even know if indeed it was because of a police report. We'll hear from the hospital. They're also saying that she came in already dead, and we saw the videos. The videos did not look like that. The videos said otherwise. So let's wait for the investigation, and let's hope that this will put a total cap on this and make the soul of this dear one and many others who have died through the same similar circumstance rest in peace.
Amen.
Let's go on a quick break. When we return, move on to another topic. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. It's Blaji Pere Egbe
is not a bone. You know what came to my head now? That sound. Crickets.
So, editor, you can put that cricket sound there. Very just. You can still put it down too.
When was the first Gulda ultimate search? Editor?
Don't put any cricket sound. I'm talking. Okay, Pere. How many times has Ghana qualified for the World Cup?
5 times. Hey, you can't do that now.
That's what it is.
Wait. Calm down. Why are you like this?
This is your team.
Small play now.
They will not
Somebody cannot play with you again.
They will not be impressed though. The team that you're supporting. And
Ghana will be alright.
Thanks for staying with us. So, in the celebrity world, things are happening between the AY comedian and Basketmouth. Many of you know that recently AY was in an interview with Fued where he was talking about his experiences and referenced the part where he had this grouse with Basketmouth for many years, and he also asked for forgiveness on all that's happened between both gentlemen. And then shortly after that, we saw a video where Basketmouth came out to also say that apologize to everyone who's hurt or who has affected their career somehow or the other, and he specifically referenced AY and also apologized. This obviously got a lot of people talking, different angles, people discussing, is it genuine, is it real, is it true, could this be because he wants to do something in a show coming up, or is it truly sorry, is AY, are they back together now, are they now buddies, you know? But it brings up the conversation concerning friendship. It brings up the conversation concerning apology. It brings up the conversation saying how long would it take for you to forgive a friend? How long would it take for you to amend a broken relationship? What are the things you think would have to play out before you accept an apology from a friend? These are conversations that are happening. We'll just touch on what happened with Basketmouth a bit, but the real crux of the conversation is about friendships, apologies, and moving forward. You can call us on the numbers on your screen, 081-07641-679, 090-241-63440. You can also tweet us at TVC Connect. Please hashtag Yourviewtvc so we can read your tweets. Who would like to go first on this apology video? Toby, you want to jump in?
Abba. Okay, so for me, when I saw the video, you know, at first when it started, I was like, yeah, maybe it's actually serious, you know, because he had this straight face, and you know how it is that Basketmouth can give such a straight face when he's speaking. And then he goes on to now talk about his show. I say, publicity stunts. Because one, media blogs, media houses would take on the story. They will first put it as an headline saying, Basketmouth apologizes to... Yeah. As you see that one, you will click on it. It's now later when you now read, you now say, oh, at the end, he mentioned that he showed. I think that was a good publicity stunt, personally. And I also think that when there are issues among people, I think apologizing should be private, not said publicly. If he really meant it, I know there had been issues where both of them had tried to, amend their ways. But if sincerely wanted to apologize or he really meant it, I think a message, putting a call across to him, maybe even going to his home, would have sorted it out. So that's why
because the fight was public anyway, so you might as well apologize publicly.
Well, maybe he has even apologized in private. We don't know the details. We are just seeing what it is that is outside. And I think that in matters of forgiveness, personalities, the personality of individuals have a role to play. So for some people, immediately somebody does something, they just, I don't like what you do, guys, stop them. But some others might withdraw, and we see that play out in spousal relationships, such that the husband may be the kind of person that's
malice,
that is a professional malice keeper, and the wife is just somebody that, I don't finish, bye-bye, and they may actually find a way of, maybe at the first stages of their marriages, they may feel like it may be a lot, having to blend both personalities, but as time goes on, they're able to do it. Right. So I think also this is a case of personality differences. Maybe one person is the one that is saying that, forgiveness, you go forget them, and the other one is saying he has to come and apologize. So
all right, let me come to you. Okay, I want to jump in.
So I like the humorous angle to it, the way he ended the video. I mean, I like it. And then my opinion is there's really nothing. I know men are different from women, and just like Toby said, it's very easy for women to walk away from stuff. But I'm not going to applaud him for saying sorry. I won't applaud him. I don't think saying sorry for something that's been in your mind should have taken up to 17 years. But I like the fact that he decided to do it in a very. He said kill 600 birds with one stone. That makes sense to me. I don't think it's chasing clout. I think as Nigerians, we have trust issues. Anything anybody does, we assume the person is trying to chase clout. So I want to say, I mean, thank God he has realized that whatever should come to an end. And I also like AY's angle. Looking at what they said the issue was, it must have happened 30,000 a long time ago. So it just means for us, I mean, we should have other ways of holding on to our bonds and not allowing social media, further tear us apart, because this is a further social media issue.
Come to you, Maria.
Okay, so for me, first of all, I'd heard the initial interview that AY had, and I think that was the very first time that was made public. Maybe amongst celebrities in their circle, they were aware of the feud, but for many of us Nigerians, it was until that interview where he addressed it. And I think he also did that to use an opportunity to once again, ask for Basketmouth's forgiveness. And I remember my thought then is, you know what, when you have done your best in asking for forgiveness, you're sorry for whatever it is you've done, and especially in his own case where he wasn't even sure, it wasn't like he was given the opportunity to be told this is what I've done. I felt that sometimes you've done your best, move on. God knows your heart, There's no need wallowing and struggling and begging and groveling over and over again. Whenever the person comes to, or if that person never does, then move on. Maybe that person was never meant to be in your life anyway. Basketmouth's situation, I think it was just a nice PR stunt. I think this is a man who has been in the entertainment industry for so many years, and he understands how these things work, and he has a show coming up, and he thought, fantastic idea, I'm good. And I think, this is how the entertainment industry works. They see things around, they look for things that will get people talking, their viewers talking, what is exciting. They're looking for different ways to spread their message in cheaper, most effective ways. And he found something that just fit right in, and he used it. Right. If he ever apologizes to AY or whatever, that is, for me, as far as I'm concerned, is their personal issue. I don't even need to know. But I think this was mainly for entertainment and PR purposes.
Let me take this call. Good morning. Thanks for calling. You're live.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Please, I want to report some things in Ichesha. Please, I don't know. You need to help us to reach out to Lagos State government. What happened in Agor Palace not to happen again. You see, it's Kate local government and Mushin local government, that's fairly roundabout. They are doing a lot of illegal activities there. A lot of illegal activities. Yesterday, we have some local government guys at Ijesha bus stop They will just tell you, you drove past this place, you are not supposed to overtake, you are doing this, they will arrest you. Local government, you are not using seatbelts. Local government, that's what they do. And for the tele roundabout, you have different types of task forces from Mushin local government. Different types. Please, Lagos State should help us.
Okay.
They should come and see. We have different types. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. All right, so going back to this AY feud, I mean, many of us recall the story when back, I think it was March, where AY was narrating the beef between him and Basketmouth, that Basketmouth used to, collect 30,000 naira. He used to actually give him. Then he also accused Basketmouth of delisting him from going for all these other gigs. So these are the feud that happened. And Basketmouth came and said, me and this guy were not friends. We've never this. You can never put us, see us chummy. I've never been to his house. We're not close. So they probably had just a relationship, a cordial relationship as regards their work. Now, that brings me to the angle of people's expectations of a friendship. Yeah. I am friends with you, and because we are on the show together, we're supposed to be chummy, we're supposed to be cool and best friends. And we can't naturally draw a line of, listen, yes, we're cool. When it comes to work, we're buddies. But other things, that doesn't make us bad. It's just like we're just not there.
Yeah.
Was it difficult for us to be able to draw that line between professional friendship and friendship?
Yeah. When this thing came out, someone says Nigerians need to understand that there are other terms beyond the outside friendship. There are acquaintances. There are colleagues. So not everyone is your friend. For me, friendship for me is such a serious thing. I feel it's something I have to develop. I have to get to know you, you get to know me. And it's not something I expect of you to have from me just because I like you. I know that you also need to build, with whatever it is that's surrounding you, how you see life, also determine if you want to be my friend. I had one issue one time. I was telling one of my friends, can you imagine what this my friend did to me? She was like, well, you're a friend, but is she your friend? I was like, I never really thought about it like that. And we need to have, we need to not have these expectations or be entitled to people's love and friendships if it is not clearly stated that it is. And people tell you if they're truly your friends or not by the way they behave towards you or how they respond to you when you tell them that they have hurt you. So a friend is not just someone that says, I am your friend, hey, it's in the actions. What have you done? That's what determines.
Let me take this call from Peter. I'll come to you. Peter from Shagamu. Thanks for calling. You're live.
Good morning.
Morning.
I'm Peter from Shagamu. My second time calling.
Welcome to the
show. Second time, don't deserve a call.
I have to talk on the police report this week.
Thank you, sir.
I'm not still allowed to talk on the police report this week.
Please, it's your view. Let it count. Go ahead, please.
Okay. Well, I think this is more of a current issue. I think the police have to be categorical. It is one thing to say, don't give police report before we treat. But when you go ahead and treat, you will be in a suit with the police. They will deny, they will tell you all sorts of stories. And then it is the doctor that will be faced with the problem. For us in Shagam, it happens for us in Shagam. The case is an armed robbery case. It is the doctor that will bundle to their van, will driven to anywhere. Nobody cares of how the doctor goes to anywhere to begin to make you come. This is our ordeal.
Yeah.
And then for those in private hospitals, when they attend to such people, who takes the bill?
Exactly.
Nobody takes the bill.
Yeah.
Even we see the documentary things that are tried. When an ambulance is shot and tried, the government is responsible for treating him. For making him alive to stay quiet.
Yeah.
Here, the police will just drop the patient.
Right.
They are going to shock victims. They just drop it on us. You can go away.
Right. Thank you very much, sir, for your comments. I really appreciate it. Going back to this issue, your thoughts, I want to jump in here. Yeah. The issue I was saying earlier of friendship expectations, the fact that many of us just assume that because we're chummy, you expect that other person to be really close to you.
I agree with what Miriam said, because it's really unfair when those who are around us assume they want us to meet the expectations they have of us. It's really unfair, and that happens so much based on temperament and personality issues. I have this friend who's very controlling, and most people feel, hey, why would you let her do that? Well, I know she doesn't do it with bad intentions. Yeah. So imagine when we have a fight, who's going to beg who? You know, it's definitely me. Sometimes I get to show her, like, hey, you need to stop this. No, you always do this, and you really need to stop it. So I would say, well, maybe patience if you really care about the person, and you need to be able to draw the line. When you see that you are not as important, I mean, you should be honest to yourself. Yeah. You should be honest to yourself. You should know where the line has to be drawn. You should know where your limits are, and you should also be patient, because some people get upset. Imagine if we're a group of people doing the same stuff. I invite 3, I don't invite you. People pick offense. I don't like such things. I feel, stop assuming what is not. Stop thinking for me. Yeah, so social media, I still maintain that social media has strengthened the issues between them, but there must be unrealistic expectations and assumptions at different points.
Let me take Omotaya from Shomolu. Thanks for calling, Omotaya.
Good morning.
Good morning. You're live. Welcome to the show.
I love you. Where are you? I love your fashion. I love your fashion.
Thank you.
I love your fashion so much.
Thank you, Omotaya.
I don't have anything else to say.
You're making me blush on national TV. Thank you, Omotaya. All right, let's talk about this issue of asking for forgiveness. You know, many of us find it difficult. This took 17 years, this conversation between these two gentlemen, and I just think to myself, can I hold malice that long for some point with anybody? Like, really, why do we find it so difficult to address issues? So somebody hurts you, and you hold on to this for many years. Let's even leave AY and Basket for a second. Yeah, let's
clarify that. One party didn't feel that they were holding malice. Exactly. Because for him, it was a, I don't know you. Yeah. You're just a colleague, and I've moved on.
Exactly. So the thing is that, so if we pack their issue for a second, I think in our regular lives, you know, where we have friends, and somebody hurts you so bad, how comfortable is it to hold on to that grudge for so long? I mean, it was asking for forgiveness, even when you know you did wrong. How do you just approach and address the issue? Come, Auntie, I'm sorry for what I did.
Forgiveness is a very, very tricky term when we speak about it. So for me, I find it easy to forgive when I've told you what you have done. So I tell you and I move on. If you like, apologize. If you like, don't apologize. Although my husband says, I like to hear I'm sorry. But I feel that once I've said it, it's off my chest. So the personality of individuals matter. But also there are people that, if they don't forget, their whole system begins. So for me, I first have tummy ache. I'll be having a headache because I feel that this person has done something wrong and I've not been able to speak to it. And so even medical experts will say that most illnesses, when we're able to trace it, it's maybe an underlying emotional or something that speaks about unforgiveness. Maybe you're holding on to things in your mind. So this unforgiveness, when we speak about it, is not just forgive and let go. You are doing yourself a favor by letting go and accepting that really what this person has done, there's nothing I can do about it. It's just for me to just move on.
Grudge for anything, I'm telling you, I feel the physical impact of carrying a grudge. Like, I would be sick. I need to address it and address it soon. But one thing is, once I let it go, I'm gone. So I'm done forever, and I don't need an apology back. I don't need love back. I'm not in a corner feeling also sorry for myself. I move on. If you give me the opportunity to sit with you and talk it out with you, it is so freeing for me. I can't hold. Imagine me coming to work and I'm holding a grudge. I would forget because I will greet you one day. I'm like, oh, I love your outfit. I say, then I remember, oh, I'm supposed to be carrying a grudge, you know, so it does not work for me.
Good morning. I have a call. I think Jane. Oh, Tracy. Tracy, thanks for calling. You're live.
I'm a first-time caller.
Woo! Welcome to the show.
Okay, so let's make it quick. I've been in a situation whereby I was in an emergency situation, and luckily I was attended to really fast in a government hospital in Abuja. But while I was in the hospital, a lot of people told me how they were rejected and referred. So from my own personal experience, what I feel is there should be a budget by our government for emergency situations. And then government also needs NHIS for low-income earners, especially people in the urban areas or rural areas rather, so that when they are rushed into the hospital unconscious, either their phone number, their SIM card, or something, maybe their name is attached to their NHIS. Because I feel this is an issue of funding, and nobody wants to lose his job as a medical professional. So they probably looked at me and felt I could afford it, and I was attended to without asking for any amount of money. But other patients complained to me while I was in the government hospital, how they almost died because they were rejected. I know the long as of sensitization, what funding has been made for those who cannot afford it.
Thank you so much, Tracy. You see, I'm so tempted to go back to this topic because Nigerians are talking about it, and I think all the comments are on this topic. Because when she was talking, I just remember the experience again that I've shared here several times. I'm sorry that I have to move from this friendship.
It's fine.
So, because when she was talking, because as much as we like to highlight the negative, I must also highlight some of the good. Because I remember I've shared the story where my son, I had a friend, Akade, who told me about a hospital, same doctor I was saying that had relocated close by, when that he called him during an emergency and the doctor treated. So thankfully, about a week later, my son almost gave up the ghost at 2 a.m. at night. I remember that time, my little son, he was not breathing, he was rolling his head like this, rolling his head. And I just remember that Kende gave me a number, and I called the doctor. I said, sir, my son, I was screaming, please help me. He said, start coming. And this was in K2 here. My husband, I was in pajamas, my husband was in his boxers, we jumped up, car keys, he was shirtless. We drove to the end of the street. The gate was locked. We parked the car there, we banged on the gate. He carried the child. I was behind him. Both of us were running on the street towards the hospital. And I was just crying. Brown was running shirtless with his boxers. As we got to the hospital, guess what? They were waiting for us. Wow. The doctor, a stretcher, nurses were on standby in this Lagos, K2 here. Standing, waiting for us. As we got the door, I think there was light. They were at the reception. Wow. Waiting for us. As we came in, they put the ventilator, what they call that thing? Put all the machines, oxygen, everything around him in the reception. Yeah. My husband started scabashing, praying. We just cried. I was just crying. And then they revived my son. This is in Nigeria. Yeah. So now, when I had the conversation with that man later, he said, listen, we do these things, but you see, nobody pays. Thank God you are able to pay. But people coming like this, we treat them and they leave. So a man like that, you now tell him to treat an emergency. He is just one of the trillions that we have. He has relocated to Canada. But this was a situation that happened to me, not just.
Yeah. So I don't want to take away from the positive of that story, right? But I also would like for us to there's a reality as well for millions of Nigerians who do not have your name or your recognition, which must have played a part.
No, it didn't.
No. Sorry, not in this case, which can play a part in some cases where, for your name, for who you are, it would get you some, but there are some people who will be calling you from, even when you see them or the way they're looking or smelling, you will determine, this person cannot pay. For those people, so it's not like we're bashing the hospitals completely, but we know that there are situations that happen, that regular Nigerians will find themselves in situations like greatness where they will not get help because they do not look like they are able to pay. We need, so we're not bashing hospitals now. As our last caller said, we need to look for a solution so that the hospitals get paid and they're able to do more of the good that they're doing now, and innocent Nigerians do not end up dying because they do not look like they can pay, or we're judging them even before, So that's where health insurance must come in. The government has to be able to make sure that when a patient cannot pay, they would pay the hospital, because we need the hospitals to work.
Absolutely. So look, they don't take it away from that story, because the truth is that that person had no idea who I was. And I called him at 2 a.m. in the morning, and he just received me as a Nigerian, not because of anything that has to do with my name. He didn't even know who I was until afterwards, but it was at that moment, 2 a.m., he picked up at 2 a.m. and he received us. So just to let that, there are some good doctors there. We must encourage them. Unfortunately, he has moved to Canada now. So, I don't know if we go back to basketball.
Or should I read some of these?
Because I really...
Yeah, so we have... Babalola Samuel says, aunties, please, how many times have they done adverts in Nigeria to show love and values for life? I've watched people, a pregnant lady, rush to the hospital. This person calls out UPTH in Port Harcourt, and they left her till she died. And that I can never forget for the rest of my life. Clef says, it's a pity Nigeria, we don't value human lives. Most security operatives, FRSC, police also to be precise, do not even know how to give first aid, CPR, to accident victims before even carrying these victims to the hospital.
Let me take Margaret from Jos, and I'll come to you, to Runke. Margaret from Jos, thanks for calling. You're live.
Thank you. Good morning.
Morning. Welcome to the show.
Thank you very much. I want to say I have the same similar case with the pregnant one. Just very pleased and thank God I'm alive. I was rushed to the hospital 4 years ago. My son was premature, and because of the hospital, I've lost 2 babies in the same hospital.
How many difficulty? It's so muffled. I'm so sorry, Margaret. Really want to hear from you.
She said she was rushed to the hospital 7 years ago.
Okay.
I think she wanted to share experience.
Yeah, I'm so sorry. Let's take a few more comments. Just and see.
Okay. So, in my own case, it's very difficult for me to walk out of something that really, really hurts me. And sometimes I feel most of the people around me misinterpret me. Because one time I was very upset with a friend, and I sent her a message. I don't want to have anything to do with you again.
Yeah, that type.
You know, it got to her husband, my husband, a lot of issues, my mom, my sister. And my mom said, even if you don't want to have anything to do with her, must you tell someone I don't want to have? Because what she did, in my head, I just felt I can move away from this. But the only way I'm going to move away from this is just stay on your own. Don't, because you know what people do? They hurt you, say sorry, and assume we should go back to where we were. And for me, it's very difficult. You can't just do something like this. Give me time to process it, and then we come back to it. So I feel when you have friends, now we're cool. That was a number of years ago, and I guess I just had to mature from it. And I remembered what my mom said, next time you're upset with someone, don't, even if it's in your head, you keep your distance. But I mean, it was so tough. It was so tough, yeah.
Fine. I know that feeling. That feeling. Yeah, Mariam, want to jump in?
No.
Okay. Give you comments on social media. We're still on basketball. We're going back to the health. I think a lot of Nigerians want to talk about the health. Go ahead. Any comments you have? Go ahead. Just read it out.
Yes. So, Afsa says, imagine out of 20 cases an hospital handles in a day, 10 of them cannot afford to pay. How will the hospital survive to continue saving lives? Uchechi says, I have a doctor in Owerri who doesn't care who you are. He will treat you first before asking for anything. He trained abroad. He's one of the best doctors ever. God bless him.
Let me take Yakub. Yakub, thanks for calling. You're live.
Yeah, Mario, good morning.
Morning.
Yeah, good morning to everyone. Quickly, because I would like to touch on this topic, and then I'll very fast and short. This is the first topic. Sometimes, Mario, when you go to like all these public hospitals, I'm talking about there, and then quote and unquote some other public hospitals. Some time ago, I follow one of my friends there, and then especially the Ilepo, General City Ilepo. Mario, getting there, we saw a lot of crowd. And then in the midst of the crowd, some not just went first and then said, come, Alaji, come. If you want to save this guy, let me give you one hospital address. And then he gave to us. To my surprise, getting there, we found out that the same doctor that working there is the same one that holds the hospital. So what are we seeing here is that, you see, a lot of doctors are working at general hospital. They still have their own personal hospital. Meanwhile, if you went to the general hospital and compare them on the street, the way they will attend to you, it will be different from the way they will attend when you get to their own personal hospital, because you are going to pay much more money there. That is number two. The question of these two guys are fighting. Morayo, one of your great there just said something earlier that for if someone hurts you, the best thing as a Muslim or a Christian is to call on that person, let him or her know that you have hurt me. Whether the person says sorry or not, that is left to that person. Because somebody like me, I can't hold such things. For 15 years, Morayo, if one day, I cannot hold it. Because anytime I want to pray, my mind is keeping going there. So I don't want such people to disturb me. Goodbye. God bless you.
Thank you very much, Jacob. Any more comments on social media? We're going to be wrapping up very soon. But I think this issue of medical, I think Mariam has really touched on the NHS issue. I mean, that's still, at the end of the day, is money.
Yeah.
If you look at it in different ways, it's about making sure all the hospitals are properly equipped to the T, and they can actually attend to any emergency that comes their way, such that they have a backing that even if anything happens, that person runs away or sneaks away, NHS will be able to. Now we all have BVNs.
Yes.
We have BVN. Everybody can be traced. We can find you. So once you come in, once I have your BVN or whatever documents, I can find a way to get that money back. I'm told we have Dr. Dolakwa Fashawe. What are your own views about it and what's been done so far from your end?
From our end, yesterday the Honorable Minister inaugurated a 9-man independent panel.
Okay.
Independent of government and government interference to investigate the unfortunate death of this lady. We commiserate with her family. However, this committee has as its members a representative of NBA, like Nigerian Bar Association, NDCAN, Medical and Dental Council of Nigeria, NME, Nigerian Medical Association, Association of Resident Doctors, National Association of Nigerian Nurses, Consumer Protection, a member, in fact, the president of Nigerian Consumer Protection and that agency.
Right. Okay.
And the main terms of reference is to find out the circumstances surrounding the unfortunate incident. There has been a lot on social media, a lot of things that are not factual, but we have set up this panel and we will open our doors and our staff to questioning and investigation to find out if there was any form of negligence in the health sector and system, either an individual or the whole system. If we fail this patient, justice will definitely avail.
So I'm happy that you've set up this committee and you're investigating, because normally when issues like this happen, we never really hear what happens eventually. But let's just just for conversation's sake, let's say that you find that there was malpractice that was involved or negligence. What steps will be taken against the hospital, or is it the particular staff that may have done that? So what would be the steps taken against them?
The objectives of setting up a committee is not only punitive. It is also to give closure to the family of the deceased, the bereaved. It is also to help improve or look into our system. And if there's negligence by anyone, the laws that govern medical practice and ethics are very clear and public. When the report is made public, we would definitely revert back to the law. I can assure you that.
Okay, so going forward, what are the things or what suggestions can you give to avoid issues like this or cases like this from happening in the future? Because we've seen so many cases over time.
The truth is that the law states that the first 24 hours of any patient arriving at any government institution or any hospital, emergency care must be given.
Please say that again.
For the first, not administer first aid whilst requesting for a police report. I repeat again, for all medical care givers, we are to give first aid. That is what the law says. Also, as the patients have their rights, so do the healthcare workers. At times, we are exposed to danger in some of these cases.
Yeah.
So the doctor has a right to refuse a patient's treatment if the patient and the people who brought him or her appear to be a threat to the doctor's life itself.
Okay.
Yes, that is acceptable.
Wow. Yes.
Okay. So, can I go on? Yeah. Good morning, Dr. Fashawe. Good to hear your voice again. So, I want to confirm, when some people go through experiences like this and they're able to make it, maybe they survive and they want to complain, where are they supposed to direct their complaints to without the whole drama of the media?
So,
and
every hospital has, every government hospital has a service delivery unit called Servicom. This is a system established by law. It is not even a policy. Servicom exists here in FCC. We will soon make our numbers public for a feedback mechanism. We will soon have toll-free hotline that will be made public for patient complaints. In addition to the existing emergency number, there's a call center that runs for police, accidents, and hospital, ambulance, and fire services in Abuja. All these numbers will be made public in the FCC.
Yeah. All right. So, Dr. Fashawe, so before you joined us, we were here trying to figure out why, a hospital would send away a patient that is obviously in distress. But you just mentioned that in the 24 hours of an emergency, the hospital must give first aid and then turn away a patient if the hospital or doctor is able to determine that person may be a threat. So you see how this is quite ambiguous and leaves the determination of threats to...
I did not say send away. It's a threat.
Turn away?
I said if the doctor reserves the right to refuse treatment to any patient or relative that threaten the doctor's existence or life. We have security measures that protect us as well. Such patients can be sent away and the police will be called immediately. However, with all things being equal, a patient with a gunshot injury should be given first aid while we are requesting for a police report. Nobody is to be sent away. I am quite clear on that.
Sorry to come back again. So just for clarity, you talked about first aid being given to the victim. And in the time that, and in that time, police report needs to be gotten. How long do you think would that, because sometimes getting the police is not as quick or as... So who determines, how long does it take before you can say, okay, a police report has not been gotten yet?
The nearest police report, the nearest police station is supposed to cover general hospitals around them. We're trying to work out a system with the Nigerian police where in the FCC we will have a dedicated desk for this particular activity. Because the bureaucracy of getting a police report at times may be difficult for the patient, especially if they are innocent.
Exactly.
However, for the armed robber who has secured a gunshot wound or probably killed someone somewhere, the police report is also very relevant whilst we give care. We can give care to people that their legs are handcuffed to the bed after a police report.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much for that clarity. We really needed that clarity this morning because a lot of speculations, but we don't have much time. I was going to let you touch on the issue of social media because when things like this happen, the first thing we do is many Nigerians rely heavily on social media reports. So in this case, we are hoping that whatever the report comes, whatever outcome of the police report is, can show some kind of a justification of what happened because people are just worried that they saw a video where the young girl seemed to be alive and yet the hospital is saying she arrived in dead. So we are hoping that the report eventually gives us a real clarity on what happened.
The report will, as in-depth investigation will be carried out.
Okay.
And a member of the panel is also a high-ranking pathologist.
Okay, right.
A member of the Association of Nigerian Pathologists Union. So we will be able to determine if she was brought in dead or alive by this independent body.
All right, thank you very much, Dr. Dolapo Fashiwe. Let me let you go at this time. It was a pleasure having you on the call this morning.
Thank you. Have a nice day.
Thank
you. You too. Thank you, ma'am.
So, I mean, heard it from her, and we all wait for the reports. I mean, it's quite painful, but at least we know that they're supposed to give first aid at the minimum.
Yeah.
And at least the first 24 hours, then you ask for a police report because there are incidences where you have armed robbers who come in and you can lead, his arrest and detainment can actually lead to resolving bigger crimes. So it's important for us to also understand the importance of police report, but doesn't negate the need, the urgency in providing first aid to any wounded victim. I think we can end on that. Okay, that's all we can take on today's show. I hope you learned a few things as we have once again our hearts go out to the families of greatness and we pray that indeed justice is served and this never happens again. Tomorrow, please join Veronica and the ladies on Saturday episode. See you then. Bye for now.